there's a little bit more to discuss when it comes to the Senate race that everyone is talking about. Of course, the runoff between Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and RINO dinosaur loser John Cornyn. He looks like he's about to die. Look at him. He's the guy who ate the Smurfs. He's like Mr. Magoo over here, like, hey, back in my day, kitty, let me make sure my teeth are in. Like, does he have teeth in? It doesn't look like it. This guy is 250 years old. He needs to be put out to pasture.
I see one tooth.
Is there?
I see one, just like Gargamel. He's got one there.
He's just got the one. Hey,
he's got at least one.
Kitty. Well, President Trump, I know we've talked about, he's like, I'm going to endorse someone shortly. Now, I will say every second, every minute, every hour that goes by and he does not endorse is good for us. It's good for conservatives. Every minute that goes by makes it more difficult for him to come back because last we heard, 48 hours ago, an endorsement was imminent and that the other person should just be prepared to drop out of the race. By the way, I have an op-ed on that over at Blaze Media, theblaze.com. You can read my op-ed there. Don't mess with Texas politics. Don't do it, President Trump. Do not do it. We are very, very strong MAGA. We are very strong America First. We have followed you into the trenches to fight for this country. Do not insult our intelligence by telling us why we need to vote for John Cornyn. Do not do it, okay? But I realize the president needs to hear it from more than just me. He needs to hear it from all of us. But most importantly, he needs to hear it from the person he trusts the most, I would imagine, which is himself. So let's tell 2026 President Trump, let's remind 2026 President Trump what 2023 President Trump thought about John Cornyn, okay? Here's one. I hear that old crow Mitch McConnell, together with his small band of weak and ineffective rhinos like Mitt Romney and hopeless John Cornyn, are, as usual, trying to cobble together a series of massive concessions for crying Chuck Schumer and the lunatic left in order to bail out crooked Joe Biden, the worst and most corrupt president in the history of the United States. And then he goes on to talk about the old crow and his group of 10 plus cowards, one of whom was John Cornyn, as you just heard above. He tells them, don't do it. Don't give all of this money for the Green New Deal, the weaponization of our system of injustice. Don't do it. Let me give you another one, 2026 President Trump, as a reminder. Here is you. Who is a worse senator, John the Stiff Cornyn of Texas or Mitt the Loser Romney of Massachusetts? Then he puts Utah? ? They are both weak, ineffective, and very bad for the Republican Party and our nation. With even modestly skilled opposition, they'll lose their next election. Who could ever forget Mitt proudly marching with full mask down a once proud Washington, D.C. street with BLM and rioters? Likewise, there's Cornyn, always quick to surrender to the Dems, giving them anything they want. That's all true. That was all true when you said it. The problem is it's still true now. Let me give you another one, President Trump. The deal on gun control, this is 2022. The deal on gun control, currently being structured and pushed in the Senate by radical left Democrats with the help of Mitch McConnell, RINO Senator John Cornyn of Texas and others, will go down in history as the first step in the movement to take your guns away. Republicans, be careful what you wish for. This was when John Cornyn was buddying up with Joe Biden to give you guys gun control. This was like, so I'm sorry. Please do not insult our intelligence by trying to tell us like, oh, John Cornyn's a great guy. John Cornyn is a really strong ally. No, he's not. He never has been. This is like the Twilight Zone. I don't understand why we're pretending like we've all just forgotten that they actually have hated each other in the past. With good reason, because one of them is America first and one of them is America last, and you can't coexist like that. Okay? Now, I say that to also say Cornyn, like I just said, no fan of President Trump's either. Let me give you some of John Cornyn's past history of what he has said and how he has felt about President Trump. As much as he likes to give you all in his campaign, the signage, the campaign ads, the videos, it's like John Cornyn and Donald Trump are best friends. They have sleepovers together. They have slumber parties all the time. They're just besties. They dress up together on Twinsies Day. Like, give me a break. He hates the guy. He always has. Republican senator from Texas compares his relationship with Trump to a bad marriage. He is who he is. Maybe like a lot of women who get married and think they're going to change their spouse. And that doesn't usually work out very well, Senator John Cornyn said. This was 2020. Like, oh, that's the guy? That's the America First guy? That's the guy who's going to save us all? Like, he has done jack shit right now. Literally right now. Like, it would be different if he was not the incumbent of 250 years. Right now, he has done nothing, but we're supposed to what? Like, take one for the team and vote him in to continue to do nothing? He's done nothing with the seat already other than make backroom deals with Democrats to push gun control and amnesty and let in a bunch of illegals. What are we doing here? By the way, speaking of illegals, he took issue with President Trump and others who call the southern border what it was under Joe Biden, which was an invasion. Millions of people coming into our borders that were completely open. That was an invasion. Well, not according to John Cornyn. John Cornyn actually has never met a foreign national that he doesn't love. He loves to bring in all the illegals, all the refugees. Doesn't matter if they come from Muslim countries. In fact, he would actually prefer that. If you're Muslim, you get to the front of the line. But John Cornyn takes issue with you using the term invasion, actually. Let me give you this headline. Leading Texas Republican pushes back against invasion rhetoric to describe the border. Well, John Cornyn says, I would prefer to call it a humanitarian public safety and public health crisis. I think the word invasion brings up some other connotations, which I don't think really apply here. Like what? They're coming in, they're invading our communities, they're taking up our resources. They're taking our taxpayer money. They're sucking off of our taxpayer tit. They're also coming in and like sexually abusing and assaulting our women, killing, murdering our citizens. Oh, I'm sorry. The term invasion hurts your fifis, John Cornyn? That's what you take issue with? You don't take issue with these people coming in here and creating a more dangerous and less safe and shittier country? No, that's not offensive, actually. It's the term invasion. If you use the term invasion, that is more offensive to John Cornyn than bringing in a third world invaders and being like, well, let's just roll the dice and see what happens. By the way, he also, let's not forget, suggested that President Trump should go to jail over all of these classified documents, I think.
Also wanted to ask you about the indictment and the charges against former President Trump. Have you read the indictment, and how serious, I mean, you're a former judge, a former attorney general of the state of Texas. How serious are these charges against him?
They're very serious. We simply do not take classified documents out of a secure facility. But the problem seems to be not that so much just that he had these documents, but that when he was asked to return them, he did not do so. And I think, unfortunately, he's created a circumstance for himself, which is, I think, very serious. The problem is, a lot of people feel like President Trump has been picked on from the Russian collusion case, the Steele dossier, and those sorts of things. And I find myself in agreement with those who say, yes, that was unfair. There was a double standard as it was applied to President Trump during the Russian collusion scandal. But this one is basically something that he's admitted to, all of the material facts, and we'll have to see what the judge and jury does.
I mean, I'm sorry. They had to wake me back up before the end of that clip. Like, this is a dinosaur. By the way, I remember, speaking of that, a couple years ago when Brandon Gill was actually running, our congressman, he's great. I was asked to go to an event, a GOP event in my county, and we went. And I didn't know what to expect. And then I found out that John Cornyn was the speaker. And I was like, oh, come on, guys. What are we doing? And it was like the most boring snooze fest speech. This man standing up there, 500,000 years old. He doesn't got shit to say except, hey, let me find new ways to spend your money and get you into forever wars. Like, it was the worst time. By the way, as an aside, they were not happy to see me. They were not happy that our table was there. But that's a story for another day. Anywho, I'll end with this. Actual conservatives here in the state of Texas have hated John Cornyn for a very long time. So much so that the 2022 Texas GOP convention, he decided to go on stage. He got booed. He got booed off the stage. Everyone was so pissed that he was there. They didn't want to hear from him. After that, he decided to show up to the 2024 Texas GOP convention. But unfortunately for him, I was there. So if you missed it, he was like, oh, you know what? The stage wasn't a good place for me. I got booed. It wasn't a good place for me. So I'm going to go out. You know what? I'll just go mingle in the exhibit hall. Like what? No one's going to approach you? No one's going to ask you tough questions. Everyone we don't like you, you loser. And so it didn't go well for him.
Hi, Senator Sara Gonzales. Hi, I was just wondering why you keep voting to send our money to Ukraine.
Well, because I think it's in our national security interest to help them defend themselves.
I may not get it in a year.
He won't stop it. He will invade NATO countries.
Americans are starving right now, and you guys are sending our tax money to Ukraine.
Well,
We have our own problems to deal with.
you want a World War III or
I'll grab you over here. Pardon me, sorry.
Hey, why did you call Ken Paxton a criminal? Senator, why did you call Ken Paxton a criminal?
Basketball thing over here. Why is he here?
You can't answer? We are ashamed that you are our senator in Texas.
You RINO people. Yeah.
That was my favorite, was the guy that was next to me who joined in because he was like, what are we doing? I was like shitting on John Cornyn. He's like, I'm in. You RINO piece of shit.
That was the best part of that clip is you got him rallied.
I know, I really did.
Guy was awesome.
And then, I know, and there was a point where you guys, I should repost the clip for those of you who haven't seen the full thing. It's so funny because he literally comes up and he's like, wait, what are we talking about? And I said, well, how come he hasn't done anything about the J6er? And he's like, yeah, and another thing. It's so fun. Well, we do have the latest Texas GOP convention coming up. I just wonder if maybe I'll see John Cornyn there again. Maybe we'll run into each other. Wouldn't that be fun? We'll see. Anywho, make sure if you have not yet signed up for Blaze TV, you can save $20 with promo code Sarah for your annual subscription. That is blazetv.com/Sarah, promo code Sarah. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.